and let us all do we can to build a better future. All right, we've all heard about the fall of Vice. We've all heard the fall of Buzzfeed. Vox, what happened to them? Like a lot of these internet news outlets really gained a lot of traction with the aftermath of the 2016 election. And I think we've all seen our fair share of articles on Vice and Buzzfeed in regards to how, here's Trump, Russiagate, Trump, hashtag Me Too, and all this other good stuff, right? But see, the thing is, while everyone was suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, what they, and even corporate media to the extent, didn't realize, or did realize, but didn't maybe really think this thing out, is that Trump was their bread and butter. He made them all relevant. And because so many Americans, especially liberals, had Trump derangement syndrome, people were tuning in to CNN or MSNBC or reading Vice or BuzzFeed and reading all these articles. And as soon as Trump got defeated, they no longer became relevant. Hell, even video game magazines and pop culture magazines who talked about Trump, online outlets who were talking about Trump and putting into film and video games and all this other kind of stuff, they all started losing their subscribers, their business platform. The venture capitalists, the vulture capitalists, that put money into them, well, are now starting to pull the plug. And now to join that great roster of outlets going down, Jezebel. Oh, my goodness gracious Cretaceous. Why is Jezebel going down? No pun intended. Well, here's what's happening. Jezebel is shut down after 16 years as parent company lays off staff. To be fair, there might have been one or maybe a few articles that might have done some real good for Jezebel. But as soon as we hear the whole story, Jezebel had it coming. No, I don't want to do it. I'll do it later. Stop asking me that question, Guardian. Jezebel, a feminist U.S. news site, was shut down by its owners on Thursday. With 23 people laid off and no plans for the outlet to resume publication. Do you see this? This is the world's smallest violin being played. Geo Media, which owns Jezebel and other sites including Gizmodo and The Onion, announced the closure in a memo to staff, which was obtained by The Guardian. Unfortunately, our business model and audiences we serve across our network did not align with Jezebel's, said Jim Spanfeller. The chief executive of Geo Media wrote in the memo, which was sent to staff on Thursday morning. And when that became clear, we undertook an expansive search for a new, perhaps better home that might ensure Jezebel a path forward. It became personal mission of Leah Goldman, who worked tirelessly on the project, talking with over 24 potential buyers. It is a testament to Jezebel's heritage and ratifies that so many players engaged us. Still, despite every effort, we could not find Jez a new home. In response to the shutting, the Writers Guild of America, which represents Geo Media staffers, issued a statement condemning Spanfeller. Oh my God! Jezebel has been a pillar of fearless journalism and important cultural commentary since 2007 and made a notable mark on the media landscape. A well-run company would have moved away from an advertising model, but instead they are shuttering the brand entirely because of the strategic and commercial ineptitude. Jezebel was a good website, in theory. However, look, let's talk about Jezebel. I want to pull up this tweet here from Shoe on Head. Jezebel. Now, there's just one article, and I got to tell you, man, if this is one of the many, and there are many articles, I'm kind of glad that maybe Jezebel's gone, because when I see titles like this, have you ever beat up a boyfriend? Because we have. Now, all right, yes, sometimes a guy might get a shoe to the head or a smack upside the head, whatever. Perhaps maybe a pat on the bottom. I don't know. Now, you think this would be a funny, hilarious article, but no, it's not. Domestic abuse is not funny. It's rather terrifying and frightening. And there are many men, yes, men and women, who are in relationships where there is violence. According to a study of relationships that engage in non-reciprocal violence, a whopping 70% are perpetuated by women. Okay, so basically that means that girls are beating up their boyfriends and husbands, and the dudes aren't fighting back. With Amy Winehouse busting open a can of whoop ass on her husband last week, Okay. We decided to conduct an informal survey of Jezebels who see who's gotten violent with their men. After reviewing the answers, let's just say that'd be wise never to F with us. Okay. A left hook, right hook. And look, it's stuff like that. It's not good. Not good. No violence. Let there be love and peace. Because apparently Jezebel, known for gender and reproductive justice reporting, destroyed by corporate greed. Journalists and reproductive rights activists said Thursday that the loss of Jezebel, the feminist website that covered politics and pop culture for 16 years and whose shuttering was announced by its current owner, would leave the U.S. media landscape without crucial reporting on abortion and other issues. To the writers of Jezebel and everybody else that's crying about it, you do realize that a woman's right to choose died under a Democratic administration, right? Just want to keep on repeating that. Just want to keep throwing it out there. The current Jezebel team was doing some of the very best abortion and broader reproductive sex gender reporting in the game. Okay, they deserve better. Jim Spanfeller, the CEO of Geo Media, which joined private equity firm Great Hill Partners in 2019 to buy Gizmodo Media Group and its brands, including Jezebel, told the staff that 23 editorial staffers were being laid off and Jezebel would no longer be published because the company was unable to find a new buyer to take it over. Is it ever considered to people that maybe it just wasn't successful in reaching out to a broad, especially look, when vulture capitalists are brought in, a network does begin to hurt. All right. And maybe that's what happened to Jezebel. You know, corporate greed. I mean, Jezebel could have done something far different, which is why they are now gone after 16 years. In recent months, writers and editors at GeoMedia's brands have spoken out against its increased reliance on artificial intelligence. AI is not going anywhere to produce content, was one writer telling Vox the shift was a disaster for employee morale. Well, let's talk about some of these articles, especially from 2016 through 2020. They've been mediocre. And as soon as the orange boogeyman was gone, you guys really had to struggle to make yourselves relevant again to an audience that didn't have to worry, or especially to a liberal audience that didn't have to worry about Donald Trump. Continue on. This is a not so veiled attempt to replace real journalism with machine generated content. One journalist added, Geo's MO is to make staff do more and more and publish more and more. It has never ceased to be that. This is a company that values quantity over quality. Spanfeller also started evaluating writers using algorithms and scorecards, rating them based on traffic and engagement. As much as this sounds brutal, that's the real truth of social media, traffic and engagement. You know, having headlines that will garner your attention, thumbnails, all that stuff. I mean, but it's more than just media and journalism. That's everything in social media. Everything. Across the spectrum, all the genres. I mean, that's how you get people to watch. I mean, no matter whether you like it or not, the internet is here to stay. Our smartphones are attached to us. We need to use the internet. It is part of our daily lives now. It is part of our system. And the thing is, if you want eyeballs to look at your content, you know, you really know how to engage your audience, how to get traffic coming to your place. I mean, that happens to everyone. This is a great wide world of getting human attention. That's just how the business is. It's brutal, it's cutthroat, and it doesn't give a damn. And when people no longer had to worry about Donald Trump, of course, Jezebel and Vice and BuzzFeed were going to go belly up. Just like how CNN is struggling. HBO Max made a dumb decision by having CNN part of your streaming platform, but nonetheless, a little bit off topic. So, I want to pull this up here. Since Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022, Jezebel has been at the forefront of reporting on attacks on reproductive justice across the U.S. Again, happened under a Democratic administration, including the prosecution of a 19-year-old Nebraska resident and her mother for procuring and using abortion pills. An Idaho hospital shutdown of its labor and delivery unit, a pregnant woman who was forced to wait in a hospital parking lot until her health condition grew dire enough to get her, for her to get an abortion, and the stories of women who carried their pregnancies to term because they were unable to get abortion care. Last week, the outlet reported on women in Gaza who have been forced to undergo cesarean sections without anesthesia due to Israel's blockade and bombardment. These stories do need to be talked about. But the thing is, when you're part of the corporate establishment, the real truth is corporate establishment, hedge funds, all that, they only care about the dollars. And so to the writers, the former editorials of Jezebel, 23 of them, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you just might have to do your own thing. All right. Now, these are stories that have to be talked about, but avoid venture and vulture capitalists, avoid corporate media. But in many ways, Vice, Vox, Buzzfeed, Jezebel, you guys don't really have the best track record in the world, especially when it comes down to, talking about stories that really only perpetuate just one point of view, especially when it came down to Trump derangement syndrome. And, if there is further articles like that one of, hey, have you ever beat up a spouse? Ugh, I don't think I want to pay any attention to that. But nonetheless, it's a whole new day. The media landscape keeps on changing. That's why you always got to keep your head on a swivel. And no matter what, especially in this day and age, if anything's associated with a corporate establishment, corporate media group, or private equity firm, just set your watch and get ready for the countdown when said editorials or magazines get replaced by AI. Artificial intelligence is going to be a real thing, and it's going to replace a lot of people. Things are going to get very interesting and maybe a little frightening too.